Hello, and welcome to WOR PC Tier 3. And tonight, we come for another race. It is round number 6, I believe. It should be 6, I do believe. And we are back. And I'm joined once again alongside by my good friend, Ryan.
Hello.
How are you doing?
All right. Looking forward to Baku. I think it's a different track. It can provide a lot of excitement and a lot of chaos as well.
Very true. Very, very true. It's an interesting race. I will say we're going to have a very interesting race this week. But let's go through a few of the things to reach that point. Let's have a look at the lovely track map. Of course, 6.003 kilometers, 3.730 miles, 20 turns, 2 DRS zones down that pit straight and down that little back straight between turn 2 and turn 3. It's quite interesting. There, of course, we've got some brilliant sections. Castle section, the I Am Stupid from Charles Leclerc section, which everybody was in 2019, wasn't it? So quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Just a look at the calendar. We've gone through Australia, Spain, Belgium. Last week, we were meant to be doing COTA, which sadly we didn't do. It was cancelled. But we did do Monaco previously, so we do have up to Monaco's results. So they just kind of swapped around round 4 and 5. Then Azerbaijan this week, of course. Then next week, we go to Great Britain, which everybody loves to go to. Emilia-Romagna, Japan, and then Abu Dhabi, of course, the classic end at Abu Dhabi to the season on the 29th, the end of this month. I cannot believe how quick this season's been. I cannot believe it. But as everybody is readying up, we'll quickly look over to the standings. Because at the top of the standings, it is Abe Gabadi, 70 points, far out in the lead, almost double the points of P2. 2 wins now, back-to-back wins in Belgium and Monaco. So an incredibly strong set of races. From our championship leader. Not a couple of drivers getting a couple of races in. I mean, Trisquet as well with a good P2 finish. I believe also Abdullah as well with the P3 finish in Monaco. So a couple of drivers here and there, of course, when it comes down to championship. Of course, Oliver Knott and Carlos Galindo closest in that group. Of course, both of them there here as well tonight. Same for Abe Gabadi. So all the top 3 here this week. And so is Tumas Laminen as well. So that's going to be pretty interesting. But we are finally getting into the race. I mean qualifying, because my brain just decided to stop working.
I was going to say, that's quite quick, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a bit of a quick one. I must say, for myself, it was a little bit quick to go off of the mark and say the race. My apologies. Don't get too excited, everyone. Don't get too excited. It's still qualifying, but it's not the race. Please don't. Nobody have a heart attack because of what I've just said accidentally. Oh, that would be terrible. But we're just waiting for everybody to put on their setups and head out of the pits. 19 drivers as well, so pretty full grid tonight. Couple of drivers. We've got the FCT driver once again, who we don't know how to pronounce their name, and I never will. A couple of drivers coming back. Epic Lexa, Oliver Knott, Gian Pietro Ogiano. I mean, we've also got Nail Gout, Supply Raptor, Carlos Galindo. We've got so many. And the first driver out on the track, I believe, is Jensen Rosen.
I think you are correct. Yeah, the McLaren driver. Is he reserve? I think he might be reserve.
I should really have notes for this, shouldn't I? Who's reserve, but it changes so much week on week.
We've both been only got online quite close to the race start, so we've not had that much preparation. I think he is not on. I can't see a matching name on the check-in. So
well, I think he's just joined. I think for reserve. I think so. But yeah, Jensen Rosen making his way around. Quite a few drivers also following. Jesus Christ, a lot of them are coming out now to start their laps. I have to say, they've all flooded out of the pits quite close together. Because if you look at Dennis, he's got one car in front of him, two very close behind him as well. So he's in a pack of four there. There's quite a lot of people all around the grid. I think we've got Timon Van Vincent in P5, who's going around on his own. He's closing up to Jensen as well. But we've got a lot of drivers out on track. I think only one driver still in the pits. And I believe that is Rev, who's currently still in the pits.
Yeah. It's a weird one because you'd assume if with everybody going out so early, there must be, a weather change on the way. But Supply Raptor's on the intermediates. So,
he's just testing, I think. Probably testing.
Denis Kamensky has left the session. I think
before anything else, we've got a lap to get through with, and that is with Jensen Rosen into turn one. He's throwing the car in. Ooh, misses the apex very slightly there, but for not too bad. You, of course, got to miss that sort of curb on the inside a little bit. Same here as well if you want to get the optimal line of the exit and that maximum grip using all of the track there. Swing over slightly towards the middle of the track. Once again, swing back over to the right, keeping close to the wall. Braking just before the 100-meter board. Now into the left hand of turn 3. Now into turn 4. You've got to get this corner right. Turn 4 is quite tight. You can see all the way up to the wall there. Once again from Jensen Rosen. Now into turn 5 and turn 6. A lot of drivers have made mistakes here in the past. This time they're not making so many mistakes. And that is very good from Jensen. Now to the hairpin. Ooh, quite a bit of sliding there. He had to catch it a little bit. You saw a little bit of oversteer off of the exit and through the castle section. Very clean from Jensen Rosen. Barely reacting to anything. Very much going, almost straight lining it almost. Making it look very easy. Up through the hill now as you start to head down the hill. Once again, you've got one of the hardest corners on the entire circuit. Throwing the car in. Very close to the wall once again. Almost giving me a heart attack every time they arrive at that downhill corner because it gets quite tight. Through the final proper corner now, it is a flat-out run to the line. You can see Jensen Rosen saved a lot of his battery for the exit and for this straight. He's absolutely using all of that battery now as he makes his way down towards the line with the DRS open. He's making his way, and across the line, what is it going to be? It's going to be a 1 minute 38.923 to begin tonight's qualifying.
It's a strong lap from Jensen to start this session. Trisky has retired and left the session, but we've got more lap times coming. Timon Van Vincent has set a 1:38.7, goes 2/10 clear at the top. Abe Gabardi then with a 37.7 to put a second between himself and the Mercedes driver. But Elias moves up to provisional pole, just 28 milliseconds ahead of our championship leader. Gianpietro Oggiano with a 38.2 and Abdullah Bilaj with a 39.0, the slowest time so far until Dark comes across the line with a 1:40.1. And then Lucas Serra 1:38.1. As I said, times flying in here. Tumas Lamanen with a 38.0. Then comes the Aston Martin of Niall Guyot, I think that's pronounced, with a 38.2. Gout.
I just say nail gout for just the easiest way.
Nail gout, okay. Jonas Orpol with another 38.0 and Carlos Galindo with a 37.9. And there's a small little gap until Christian Era, who's coming across the line now. No, he's actually coming into the pit lane. So, which is he's missing an end plate. So I think he's tagged the wall at some point along the lap, which I'm surprised. I'll be surprised if he's the first. He's actually lost both of his end plates there.
Not the best of runs for some people. I have to say, tough run though for a couple of drivers. I mean, Jensen looked pretty quick on his lap, but he's proven to be 1.2 seconds away from the top two. But that's a difficult one. I will say, I'm not sure. Could we be seeing a restart to qualifying? Just pointing this out because Trisky lost connection and he's rejoined, but his car retired.
So the car will only retire if you manually leave the session.
No, it doesn't, sadly.
Oh, is that not?
No,
I know that was the case on 24.
No, so basically, if you disconnect, it's sometimes, the game's done that for a few years now, it sometimes just retires you. So I'm worried it might be that for him, which is so unlucky, because it just ruins...
Oh! Sorry, Supply Raptor. So close to the barrier through the castle section, I couldn't help but flinch. Sorry.
Jesus, you are aiming for that heart attack, aren't you?
I
You're
know.
wanting to take my position here at this rate. But
Oh, I had it. That was code brown stuff there for Supply Raptor. But he's apparently purple in Sector 2. I'm not
he's
sure.
a guy of precision. Remember, all of these drivers are so precise with everything they do that for him, you might be going, ooh, he would have just gone, it's a normal day. You know.
I mean, comparing it to some of the other lines I've seen through Castle, he was definitely a bit over the limit there. And I think, yeah, 38.4 definitely compromised a bit, you'd imagine. A couple tenths in that section. And I think we've got the Alpines coming out the pits. For Epic Lecter on an outlap. What I'll do is I'll
Dennis
keep
is on a lap at the moment. He's making his way around. Let's see, is he actually on a lap? Yes, he is. I was double checking whether he was actually on a lap or not. But he's on his way now, down towards line. I have to say, it's an interesting track, isn't it? It throws in a lot of straights, which means you have to focus on your straight line speed as Dennis goes to a 38.326. It focuses on your straight line speed, but it's also got it's kind of quite squarish corners, hasn't it? A lot of, especially through the first and second sector, a lot of very square corners. That's kind of how the whole track is.
The first 8 corners of the circuit are within, a 10% threshold of 90 degrees.
Yeah.
So
because of that, I think it makes driving this track a lot harder. The castle section is really is where it starts to change to more rounded corners. But there's a lot on this track that you can, struggle on. I think, you've got turn 2, which is infamous for braking. And, it's really difficult to get your braking perfect through turn 2. And it's always proven to be a problem for drivers. Turn 1 as well, the fact that the first 2 corners are some of the hardest corners on the track just prove how difficult it is that you're not having an easy time when you start the lap. I always call Baku the longer and faster version of Monaco. It's very much the faster version of Monaco because it's longer and it's a lot more high speed. Oh, and that's Christian, who has pretty much done an I am stupid moment into the wall at the castle section.
Unfortunate there for Christian. I mean, I do want, if we can go on board with, I think it's Lucas Serra who's coming up to the line. I want to point out what makes these first corners so difficult, because each of them has a different aspect. So turn 1, you're braking on that curb. The curb on the inside apex is raised, as is the one on the outside, which you can skateboard over into the very close barrier. The apex of turn 2 is also raised. For peak performance through that corner, you want to hop it. But if you hit it at the wrong angle, you're then catapulting into the exit wall. Turn 3, you're getting right up to the sharp apex of that corner on the inside and right up against the wall on the outside with no margin for error. And then turn 4 is very similar to turn 2, but you don't want to touch the curb at all. Turn 5, of course, has that rounded, serrated curb, which if you hook onto it well, it can help you get the rotation. If not, it's detriment to your lap. 6 and 7 both have apex curbs, one of which you want to hit in turn 7, and turn 6, absolutely not. I don't... That was going to be my next point, which is the risk versus reward of the castle section.
That's a front wing end plate's coming off today.
I'm surprised that was only an end plate.
But I know the FCT driver's on his way round, so he can pick it up from where you were.
I mean, I was pretty much done because the rest of the corners, apart from 15, are fairly self-explanatory.
And again,
we have got Ogiano up to the line, who goes up to P6 on that lap. I think Abdullah Bilaish has just crossed the line as well. He went to 12th, but Jensen Rowson then usurped him. And now it's
I have to say it's pretty difficult, but I think it's a track that is difficult, as you've proven. It's very difficult, as Lucas Serra also proved. It is very difficult. The FCT driver improves by 9/10, but only goes up to P14. He's far, far away at the moment. What was that? That was Jonas Orpel Carlos Galindo, 9 thousandths quicker. Elias!
Up to a 37.3. Abe Gabardi with a 37.5. I think that was one of the Alpines just jumped up the order. Oliver Knott up to P8. So the lap times are tumbling here. Of course, Carlos Galindo was on pole by 9 milliseconds. And then Elias immediately puts 4/10 between himself and the Aston, and Abe Gabardi slots in between them. We have got the other Aston Martin of Neil Gout. I'm going to have so much trouble with that one. He did not improve on that lap time, or at least not position. I think, is Van Vincent on another lap? No, he's not. So, next is going to be... I've just heard somebody absolutely clatter a wall there. I don't know where on circuits it was. I think it's one of the racing balls. Is it? Oh, no. This is the issue with a street like Baku. Well, yeah, streets like Baku. It's very difficult to tell who's on a lap and who's not. Because a lot of the time you can tell from the pace on the minimap. But I think, yeah, most drivers now coming into the pits, Dennis Kamensky is on a lap. Supply Raptor is on a lap. And Epic Lexer, I want to say, is on a lap. But I'm not sure anybody else is at the minute.
Yeah, Epic Lexer is going to be the first one to cross the line, I think, out of this lot.
Oh!
Again,
big jump over the curb.
But thing is, I think so far, a few drivers are really struggling. There's only really, I'd say, out of these 19 drivers, only 2 are really mastering the streets, aren't they? And that's really Elias and Abe Gabadi, who are kind of in a bit of a league of their own at the moment, possibly with Carlos Galindo, but I'd say mostly those 2.
Yeah, I was going to mention Carlos because he's got a bigger gap to Jonas than Abe does to him, and Epic Lexer goes up with a 38.0, which is still somehow 7/10 away from pole position. Supply Raptor up to P8 as
and there goes a front wing end plate on Supply Raptor out of turn 1. I just see
Yeah, at least he'd already done his lap by the time that came around.
It's still risky though, very risky.
Dennis Kamensky has abandoned his lap. He's going to come into the pit lane. And there is only 3 minutes left of this session already, Epic.
I know, it's gone by very quickly. Lucas Serra is also going to be the one starting off the final runs of the evening. Now, the biggest thing for the 3 drivers that are currently out, who are, of course, Supply Raptor and Epic Lexer, who are both going around, they're going to be coming in. But for Lucas Serra here, he's got to make sure he gets around this final section pretty quick because cars are going to start to come out of the pit lane. As you can see, they already are. I can already see about 3 cars already making their way out. So...
the thing as well is he is not going to want to impede whoever's trying to come out of the pit lane. So for Epic, it'll be Oliver Knott. And for Supply Raptor, it'll be Oggiano. So... luckily, Oggiano's already out on track. I've seen Rev has just retired in the pit lane. He's going to be starting last. But if Oliver Knott doesn't get out of the pits now, he could get held when Epic Lexer comes into box. And I think I can see Oliver... yeah, he's just got on the pit exit, so that problem is...
I think Lucas Serra's slowed down as well. I think, yeah, he's going slowly. He's not happy with his run so far. Supply Raptor's coming in, so he's going to have to really rush in and out, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't think Raptor or Lexer are going to make it back out. I did notice Serra massively jumped over the turn 6 curb, and that did invalidate his lap time.
Who is the next person to be on a lap? It's a Mercedes, I know that. It is... Timon Van Vincent making his way around. He's been okay so far this session. It's not what we're used to seeing from him. Not all the time, as we know. I think was it Monaco that he did a little bit better on. But let's ride on board with him.
I think he struggled in Monaco.
Possibly. I don't remember who anymore. But Timon Van Vincent, let's ride on board with him on this final run. Through turn 1, pretty nice. Through turn 2, he's got to get this right, and he does. a little bit slow. Definitely some understeer hitting that Mercedes mid-corner. I could see a lot of that through turn 1, turn 2. Sadly, turn 3 and turn 4 are very similar. So he's hoping that understeer is not going to hit. And again, you can see a little bit of scraping with the wall there out of turn 3. Turn 4, much better there. Getting the grip very early and getting that throttle down very quickly. Into turn 5 and turn 6. Bouncing over the curb slightly. Very clean. So far from timing. Now into turn 7. The hairpin. He's got to get this right. Little bit deep there. Oh, and again hitting the rear. Now into the castle section. Whoa, all the way up to the wall there. Sliding up the hill. And now onto a little bit of an easier part with the next 3 corners. Well, the next 2 corners at least. He's got a little bit of a wait to time before he reaches this downhill. Left hand, you've got to throw the car in over the curb. Oh, he did not get that right at all from Timon Van Vincent. And now heading into the final proper corner. Very clean out of the final proper corner. But let's see what he can do. He's got to make sure that straight line speed is on his side. Everybody's already done. Epic Lexa did not make it to the line, by the way. So that's him done. That's the first driver done this evening. Let's see how Timon Van Vincent is going to do. Up to the line. Watching, and across the line. He does improve by almost 0.3 of a second to P4. And a very strong lap there for himself. Elias has gone actually slower on this run. We've got Jonas Orpel, who's coming across the line next. He stays P5, even though he improved by 0.2 of a second. So, didn't go too well for himself there. I think we have Lucas Serra. P6 then from Lucas Serra there. So, not too bad. Then we've got the FCT driver that stays P16, so not enough from himself. We've got Tumas Labanen, his teammates on pole. Can he get close to that? He does go P5, so he gets a little bit closer in the end. I'm looking for the next driver to be crossing the line. I think that was Oliver Knott. A lot of drivers are crossing the line. Abdullah stays there. Stays Jensen. Abe Gabadi improves slightly, but not enough. Carlos Galindo has invalidated, by the way. Now Gout goes P5. So that's his session done. We've got Dennis, who jumps to P3.
What a lap.
Absolutely incredible. And that is everyone. Nope. Elias is on pole, followed by Abe Gabadi and Dennis.
Christian Era was still yet to complete the lap. He only goes P15 in the end. But, yeah. What a pole for Elias. Well, if you look into real F1, Charles Leclerc has had the last 4 pole positions and never won the race. So, hopefully it's not a bad omen for him.
You just had to say it. But let's go through the order of the grid. Elias is on pole, followed by Abe Gabadi, Dennis, then Carlos Galindo, Jonas Orpel, Neil Gout, Tumas Lamin, Timon Van Vincent, Lucas Serra, Oliver Knott, Epic Lexa, Gian-Pietro Ogiano, Supply Raptor, Jensen Rosen, Christian, Abdullah Boulach, then the SCT driver Triske and Rev. I swear that is the fastest I have ever done the grid order. I'm pretty sure.
It's so stressful trying to get it done as the time it ticks down.
Yeah, a little bit, but we got there. We got there in the end. And if anybody didn't know a single word I said, just go and replay it. That's my advice. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It is raining.
Oh my!
What is it with this year's game and rain? What is it with this year's game and rain? Oh my god.
I'll be honest, I'm not sure. But
yeah, I don't know what's going on. We've had, rain at like 3 races now? It's been crazy. We had it in Monaco.
Oh.
We had it in round 1, didn't we?
Not in Australia.
No, not in round 1. Round 2, sorry, I think.
I wasn't here for that. That's why I'm confused.
Yeah. I think we
Was it raining in Monaco? I don't think it was.
I think it rained off the start a bit because I know they were on inters.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they were on inters. I know they started on inters. So if it wasn't raining, I'd be checking whether they were okay. But to be honest, it was an interesting qualifying for Elias. Now it's raining. It's actually going to be worse into turn 1. Who is going to break really late and straight line half the grid?
Don't say that.
To be honest, I have that slight bit of expectation that there's going to be one There will always be one. But in serious talk, what do you think strategy is going to be?
Well, I mean, we don't know what the weather's going to be like. If it's going to stay, I mean, we don't know if it's full wets or inters at the minute. I'll check the race director actually. That'll tell. It's inters. So if it gets heavier, potentially the full wets. I know on this game the inters are still better in almost up to thunderstorm conditions. But of course, drying up depending on when in the race. Some drivers might opt to go hard to the end. Some might try medium to the end, maybe medium. You never know. It might get to a point where it dries out, but there's not a point in pitting, so they stay out on the inters in, more slick conditions. So
we'll have to see, because to me it looks like a lot of cloud, not really much light in all of it.
However, we do have about 45 minutes realistically for the clouds to clear, because it's about a 40-minute race time normally. If we add on
it's going to be above 2 minutes a lap.
If it was on the full wets, I'd agree.
No, on inters it will be. I promise. It will be.
I think it's going to be closer to 152. I guess we'll see. Should we put money on it or not? No, probably not.
No. Why? That.
I'm joking, obviously.
Terrible. But we're waiting for the grid to ready up for this very wet Baku. For, I have to say, strangely, the first time ever that I'm commentating on a wet race in Baku. I must say, it's a new one for me. But we should be getting underway very, very shortly. If you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure to subscribe to WOR and also leave a like and click on that notification bell to know about all the streams we do from console, world, and of course PC. Also, make sure to go to check us out on TikTok and on Twitter, or X as you might want to call it now, where we can have even more news and everything you want to know is there. Also, make sure to join our Discord server. I believe the link is down below. If it doesn't, blame Luke, not me. But we are going. It is 3, 4, 5 lights. And away we go here in Azerbaijan for WOR PC Tier 3, round number 6. And it's a good getaway from Elias, and Jensen Rosen, for some reason on my screen, is leading, and everybody's ghosting.
Yay, desync. But
I think
let's
everyone...
see what we...
Wow.
That's a lot of ghosting, actually.
Yeah.
But Ave Gobard, I think it might sort itself out when we get to the line. So Ave Gabardi is leading from Dennis Kamensky, who goes straight on! Dennis has locked him. Oh, there's more cars into the runoff area. Elias is in there as well. So Elias, we've got Williams, that's Lucas Serra, who is also in the runoff. Jonas Orpel has dropped down the order too. So Ave Gabardi now leading from Carlos Galindo and Niall Goyot. And yeah, Jensen Rosen back down 2 position when we got to the sector split. Trisky gets a 10-second time penalty for an illegal overtake. Abdullah Bulaich up to P11 there. I think we've got... That's Jonas Orpel going down the inside of the FCT driver into turn 7. I think contact between the two of them as well. And now Rev going side by side with Christian into the castle section. And oh, so close to hitting the wall there. And why is it saying blue flags? There's blue flags waving around the circuit.
You, I think.
Is that an issue on my end?
Makes a move past Timon Van Vincent into the Thai left-hander. Balding with Elias!
Elias is in the wall! And we've got a virtual safety car contact near the back of the field with Dennis Kamensky. And Elias is in the wall through turn 14.
Holy, I'm not sure what's happened there. That is chaotic from pole to retirement and last.
I fully jinxed him as well, didn't I?
I don't want to be mean, but I suspect that actually could be a new record. I genuinely do think that it might actually be a record.
I mean, he was at the back already, wasn't he? Because I think he locked up into turn 3. We had so many cars.
You know what I mean, though, from first to last.
Yeah.
Not really seen it happen before like that. But I guess it's definitely something drivers haven't practiced, is the wet conditions.
Lucas
Baku.
Serra and Denis Kamensky both coming into the pit lane. That will be to repair front wing from the incident. I imagine turn 3, maybe also through turn 14. We don't know exactly what happened there.
It's got
At
to be
least
perfect though, isn't it? For for 2 in the championship, Ave Gabadi and Carlos Galindo, especially for Ave Gabadi leading the championship, another 25 points walking his way, is going to be exactly what he wants. His only sort of championship rival at the moment being Carlos Galindo, sitting behind him. But we know what happens when Ave Gabadi leads a race. He goes on to dominate the race. Oh my god, they are getting going. Abdullah gets a gets a drive-through penalty, but look at this. Absolute crazy racing off of the restart. Carlos Galindo still battling with Ave Gabadi for the lead of the race. Ave Gabadi, he's gone a bit deep. Ooh, I thought he was going to go to the wall there for a second, but he stays in the lead, and that was incredibly close. It was still showing yellow flags up on my screen when Carlos Galindo went for it.
Well, yeah, I know. I think Rev overtook Jonas Orpel as well, and Jensen Rousen and Gianpietro Olgiano swapped under the yellow. So I think there might be some small issues with the server at the minute. But Ave Gabadi crucially holds his lead. I'd say, obviously, from an unbiased perspective, given how much of a mess that restart was, I'm glad that nothing happened and that it's still the same order, so the fight can continue on. Oh god, that. Oh, I think Oliver Knott hit the wall there.
It's slightly terrifying, isn't it? You just see them practically drifting through the corner.
Were they going flat? I think they might have been.
Yeah. As Tumas Lambden, by the way, makes the move.
Yeah.
And here comes Carlos Galindo for a second. He was looking for a move. Abdullah Bulaic down the inside of Epic Lexa for P10. Of course, with that penalty, it's not going to help him. Whoa, and a bit wide from Triske. Now heading into turn 2. What can Abdullah Bulaic do down the inside? He doesn't stick his nose down the inside in that moment there. I think it was
sensible.
Just a tad bit too risky.
Oh! Jonas Orpel's just had a massive oversteer moment and hit the wall. I think he's managed to get away without damage, which is very impressive, as he was almost going directly
Carlos Galindo into the lead. Look at this. I think that was an opportunistic dive bomb that came from Carlos Galindo there. And very much as I don't think we were expecting, I don't think Ave Gabadi seemed to be ready for it either.
Not many people this season have managed to catch Ave Gabadi napping, but I think that might be one of the first times it's happened. And now they're nose to tail heading through turn 7. And we'll see Galindo leading into the castle section, losing the rear, and just managing to keep it out of the walls. He's now got the pressure of having at least 5 cars within very close distance. And yeah, even now, Van Vincent just on the fringes of being within a second of Tumas Lambden. Not that that means anything, of course, in these conditions. DRS only being activated when the track is deemed to be in dry conditions. And Oliver Knott is really close to the back of Niall. Oh my! Do you say it again?
Nail Gout.
Nail Gout. Okay. So Oliver Knott could potentially launch an attack, and I think that I think the faster line is actually them hitting the wall.
Vincent hit the wall slightly there.
Yeah, here comes Oliver Knott now. The Alpine going for the move on the Aston Martin. Is he going to be able to make it stick into turn 1? I think he is, and down the inside and ahead up into the podium places. Abdullah Bulaic is pitting. That's the service penalty, isn't it? The drive-through he received for speeding under virtual safety car conditions. And let's see if Ave Gabadi can Uno reverse Carlos Galindo's heroics from the lap before. He's getting closer down the straight, but not close enough. And oh, he's very close to the rear end of that Aston Martin. And I think there might have been contact there into turn 3. Nothing, you know, it was all superficial. Yeah, very close racing, and for wet Baku, even at this level, surprisingly clean.
Quite a bit, but my question is, do you think Ave Gabadi is now slotting in behind Carlos Galindo and not taking the risk of trying to overtake and cause problems?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, from what we saw of the Carlos Galindo Ave Gabadi battle before, Ave was almost in the wall and Carlos was also massively offline. So that might have just struck a chord in Ave to think, oh, maybe I need to play this a bit more sensible, rather than, carrying on the quote-unquote ding-dong battle for laps to come. Just playing it safe, managing the tyres, and kind of luring Galindo into a false sense of security might be the play for our championship leader.
Yeah, I think especially with his lead at the moment almost double what it is of second place in the Drivers' Championship. I think he's got those points to play with, hasn't he? He's got those sort of that point gap to use in a race like this. Yeah. Rather lose 7 points than lose 25.
Yeah, and P2 in the championship, Oliver Knott is in P3, but I believe Galindo is third in the championship. I think I'm right in saying that, and only 1 point behind Oliver. So our top three all in it here, but of course Ave kind of in his own league. So these guys will be praying for the Ferrari man to DNF. But Lucas Serra with the fastest lap, 56.0. So the rain doesn't seem to be getting any lighter at the minute. And it's so close from Supply Raptor down to, I want to say, Christian Era. Massive bunching through that pack.
Have you also noticed, can I just point out something? Does it look like the rain's getting heavier?
It does a bit.
Because to me it looks like it's getting a bit heavier.
It's not changed much, but I could get on board with the idea that it's a bit heavier than before.
I think that's why we're seeing a bit of a drop in pace as well. I'm noticing that drivers are dropping their pace slightly.
The fastest lap from Lucas Serra would suggest that it's getting lighter as they're hitting the wall through turn 13, which I'm not sure. Oh, Oliver Knott into the back of Abe Gabadi. Contact between the two of them. There's also a safety car. Christian Era has crashed coming out of turn 12 and lost his front wing. So a safety car now is going to massively spice up this race.
Very much. And if the drivers are waiting for any dry patch of racing, that could be coming a little bit sooner than they thought.
Supply Raptor overtaking Epic Lex.
But is Carlos Galindo going to come in? Do we think anybody's going to come in for some tyres? They're all keeping to that left-hand side. Carlos Galindo moves out. Abe Gabadi, though, goes in.
Ooh, interesting choice. From what I know about the Baku City Circuit, the rear tyres were in the dry about twice the rate of that the fronts do. But in the wet, it gets up to 4 or 5 times as much. So, potentially that... Epic Lex went deep at turn 1 and Supply Raptor overtook him. Interesting there, but yeah, I think the tyre wear is going to be insane.
Quite a few drivers. Abe Gabadi, the only one from the top 10, by the way, who went into the pits.
So he's going to have work to do to catch up, especially, it's Baku, it's wet, overtaking's difficult. He might just have ruined his own chances here.
Possibly, but at the same time, is the tyre advantage going to be enough?
I'm not too sure because I've not done a wet Baku myself on this game. But
I know in wet conditions, fresh sets of tyres can sometimes, even after 6-7 laps, be about maybe 0.8 to a second quicker a lap.
Yeah.
Which around here, I know you only need to be about 0.2 quicker a lap to overtake. So it's pretty close.
I mean, a lot of it comes down to straight line speed as well, doesn't it? So
not really. I wouldn't say that really. I'd say it more comes down to whether you're the one with the slipstream and the battery.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Straight line speed kind of incorporates.
I think it's more that. I think it's more battery and slipstream around this track than it is, I think, actual straight line speed. Because I know somebody who's got no ERS could go, sort of 210 miles an hour. But somebody with overtake and with slipstream might go 225 but have more downforce. So it's that kind of difficulty of the. Oh, I've just seen Epic Lex almost go into the back of Sky Raptor.
He's lagging a lot, I'm noticing.
Yeah, I noticed that in qualifying.
Another thing with overtaking around here, which I noticed, is when a driver pulls out heading up towards turn 3, because of the train of slipstream on the right-hand side, when you pull to the left, even though you might initially have overspeed, the drivers in the slipstream do end up with more straight line speed towards the end of the straight. So you really want to go for last-minute moves around this circuit in these conditions, especially.
I do agree. So, for the safety car restart, who do you think? I think definitely we're going to see Oliver Knott, and I think we're definitely going to see Oliver Knott go for a move. I'm just going to put my prediction there. I think because we've seen he's already made up quite a few places already from that turn 1 move. That seems to be his specialist corner. So I wouldn't put it past him to go for another move into turn 1.
On the contrary, Oliver Knott and Carlos Galindo are 34 points and 35 points behind Ave Gabardi in the championship. Ave is now in 10th. If Oliver goes for a move and it doesn't end well, what's that going to do for their championship hopes? So I think he's going to sit behind. I don't think he's going to go for the move off the restart, just in case everything, doesn't plan out well.
I think the main thing there is just what's more important for the driver at that time, and I think that's something that I did actual league racing for about 3-4 years, and I will say it always changes depending on what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And I think in a big championship, the biggest championship like WOR here, the biggest league, the sort of best league for racing, it's very difficult to sort of, I guess, be as aggressive, because if you are as aggressive, you could lose out a lot more. But if you're not aggressive, at the same time, you have that worry that you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, and also there's the worry of if you're too aggressive, it might not look the best for you. So I think safety car might somehow come in here. No, I don't think it can now. It's past the safety car control line. So it will be the end of lap 8, and we will have 18 laps of racing. Of course, the drivers don't need to pit in this race because it's been declared a wet session. Drivers no longer have that mandatory pit stop. Of course, Ave Gabardi and others down the order did elect to take that pit stop under this safety car.
I do agree with you there.
It's a weird way for them to split the strategy because, again, I'm not meaning this to demean any other drivers or anything, but Ave trying to get through the slower, obviously not slow, but slower than him competition. It's a big risk for him, especially if they're fighting amongst themselves.
I think that's what he's hoping for, is they fight among themselves and cause problems for themselves. And then he can just easily make his way through.
Circuit, though.
But remember, you've got to remember, these guys will practice literally 5-6 hours in a day. I wouldn't be surprised if half these drivers at least have practiced for at least 6 hours today for the race. And 5 hours yesterday, and 5 hours the day before,
Yeah, that's why I don't
put
race at this
10
level.
to 20 hours in, these drivers put so much time in to be where they are. And so I think to some degree, I think we have seen it's possible. We have seen drivers do it, but you gotta leave it up to our championship leader very much, because he's shown he can do things that have not been seen many times before in Tier 3. And
winning by 40
maybe he'll
seconds,
do it again.
wasn't it, at Monaco? Was it 40 seconds in the end?
Yeah, it's one of the. I think it was in my time of doing comms in Tier 3, which by the way is like 2 years. I think it's been about 2 years now. Is I think the biggest win I think we've ever had.
It's one of the biggest I've seen as well.
Yeah,
like,
it's the biggest I've seen in
across
Tier 3.
dozens of leagues I've done commentary for, and I
But
think it's
safety car is in.
Yeah.
And, we are about to get underway. It's up to Carlos Galindo for when he wants to go. He can control the pack from here. He's allowed the safety car to get off into the pit lane really quite early, hasn't he? He's really let it run ahead. So, we'll have to wait and see. When does the man going for championship chances? And is he going to go? You can see snaking back and forth, getting the heat up into the tyres. He's really leaving. You can see a couple of drivers not doing the same. Tumas Lammin and just doing a Kimi Räikkönen there, just slowly driving by the side. And there goes Carlos Galindo. He's gone for it. And he's actually gotten a pretty good breakaway off of the restart there. And that's a really good start from our race leader as he crosses the line to restart the racing and get going. Ooh, Oliver not very late on the brakes, almost sending it into another car, getting a little bit too close for the likes of it, for I think the likes of Carlos Galindo there, a little bit too close to his rear wing. Ooh, a bit of sliding there from the race leader. Now heading down towards turn 3, the long run down towards turn 3. Oliver Knott is not catching though, he's staying behind for the moment. We've got some racing happening further back. Supply Raptor was trying to go for a move there. He's got Abe Gabadi up behind him. Look at this, Abe Gabadi already gunning for a move. Down the inside goes our championship leader, and there he goes past the Haas with ease. Down the inside into turn 4, but look at this! Whoa, almost into the wall between Supply Raptor and the FCT driver. Getting very racy here. Look at this, slow and a little bit into the wall. Lots of sliding. It is absolutely going everywhere right now. Everybody hitting into each other and going everywhere. The FCT driver, oh my god, into the wall again. Oh my god, the car's riding another one. I don't know what's going on. This race.
Supply Raptor hits the wall at Castle as well. There goes FCT. And he has managed to get out of that fairly unscathed, I'd say. And Rev also going for the move now on Epic Lexa and gets ahead before turn 15. Is the Alpine potentially going to push for a re-overtake through the corner? No, he's not. It's such a janky, horrible corner. And the sensible option is to back out of it.
Here comes Christian down the inside of Dennis, but not able to get that. You see, that's the difficulty, isn't it? Choosing, is it exit or entry? And you can see that's the difference. Dennis chose exit and Christian chose entry. And
here
you can
goes
see
Oliver
how
Knott.
Here we go.
Down the main straight alongside. And they're going neck and neck into turn 1. And Carlos Galindo cedes the position, but is going to go for the switchback play. Get a better exit, taking a tighter line. But I think Oliver Knott with the inside line into turn 2 manages to defend, but it's still oh so close between P2 and 3 in the championship. 1 and 2 on track at the minute. And is Galindo potentially going to launch a move on Knott into turn 3? No, he's not. Thinks better about it. Timon Van Vincent also halts a move. There goes Supply Raptor down the inside of Jensen Rausen. And he can't make the move into turn 3, but he's on the outside into turn 4. Switches back. And is he going to get a run down towards turn 5? I don't think he is. No move being made for the Haas driver. We do have Trisky going for a move on Jonas Orpel as well further down the order. Side by side they go, and the McLaren manages to keep ahead as Dennis Kamensky is also battling away with the FCT driver, and he's now stuck boxed in behind Trisky in the Red Bull's battle with the McLaren.
Yes, very interesting racing. I've never seen drivers race, I think, this hard for P15, if I'm being honest. It's quite an interesting way to see the racing here today. But you can see a bit of a group is now splitting off. Jensen, Rosen in 8th and below. And then from 1st down to 7th, which is Abe Gabadi. So Abe Gabadi, quite good that he's made those 3 places, isn't it? Because he would have been stuck in the previous pack.
I don't think he's making up the positions as quickly as he would have hoped, though, because he's now going to get stuck in this. It's similar to a DRS train, but it's sort of just a slipstream train.
It's a dirty air train.
Yeah, as well, especially through those S's to finish off the lap from turn 17 to 20. Carlos Galindo can't get close enough to Oliver Knott now, and he's going to have to just bide his time behind the Alpine driver as... What else have we got going on? Abdullah Bilaich very close to Epic Lexa, got within 2/10 into turn 1. Losing the rear a bit, potentially going to launch a move into turn 2. Yep, no, backs out of it, just as it looked like there'd be a move on. However, Lexa does brush up against the wall on the exit, and now the Mercedes pulls to the left-hand side. And is he going to get ahead of the Alpine driver before the corner? Yes, he is, and he's ahead into turn 3. As, yeah, Epic is lagging significantly, ghosting inside.
I have seen that throughout so far. Yeah. But I've got to say, it's been an interesting race for Abdullah Bulaich, hasn't it? Up and down the order slightly. He's made up a couple of places now. We can actually, I think everybody knows the tyres, but we can see the places. He's actually up 5 places in this race, and Rev is up 9, by the way. So, I have to say, Abdullah Bulaich having a quiet but quite promising race, isn't he?
Yeah, especially as well, he served a drive-through penalty, of course. Let's not forget that. So he's made up positions from that as well. Despite being very much... He made up positions, got punched back down, and now he's fighting his way back to where he was before. And Oggiano is very close to the back of Van Vincent here. Every time they jump over that curb at turn 15, I flinch, because I think they're just going to catapult into the wall. And then I realise they've got better car control than me. So, yeah, Gabadi, though, could be getting quite close to a move on Oggiano. I mean, ideally for him, Oggiano goes for the move on Van Vincent and he just follows the Haas through. And that will be the optimal opportunity for him. Dennis Kamensky very close to Trisky as well. Try to keep an eye on that, but Oggiano goes to the outside of Timon Van Vincent now. Goes for the switchback play. And can he get the better exit to make the move on the Mercedes man into turn 2? He goes to the inside. Can he get ahead of the Dutchman? No, he can't. And Abe Gabadi is now right on his diffuser. They're going to be powering towards turn 3. And can anybody make a lunge into this sharp corner? And I think Oggiano pulled out to defend from Gabadi. Good defending there. I think moved just before the Ukrainian driver. And Dennis Kamensky has gotten ahead of Trisky.
I will say a little bit risky there from Gian Pietro though. Whoa!
Oh, that's not good.
And lay on the brakes and look at this. Oh my god, almost into the wall for Abe Gabadi. I will say Gian Pietro needs to be a little bit careful.
Hang on, Jensen Morrison. Go for the move on Abe Gabadi now. Down the inside of the Ferrari. And can he make the move stick? No, he can't. And yeah, sensibly lets Gabadi filter in for the castle section. I'd be very surprised if we see anybody attempt to move through there. Never mind, we've just seen it. Epic Lexa goes for the move on Dennis Kamensky and overtakes him on the entry to the castle section.
I've got to say, as I was saying, I think Gian Pietro needs to be careful. Oh my god. We just switched over to Abe Gabadi trying to go down the inside through one of the fast left-handers. Very, very close to... I think it almost went from glory to tears for Gian Pietro there. But he's got to be a bit more careful of his defending, hasn't he? Because that defense into turn 3 was very late.
It was late, but I think still legal, as Ave moved after. It was marginal, but I saw Gian Pietro move out from behind Timon before Ave moved out as well.
Oh, look at this further back. We've got to look further back because it's 3 wide. Almost 3 wide as they head towards turn 1. Trisky down the inside he goes. He's got a little bit deep there. Everybody going a little bit crazy. Oh! Whoa! Dennis! Almost into the wall. Holding on to that P15 spot. He's quite liking P15 in this race, isn't he? As there goes Abdullah Bulaich. Around the outside of Rev, he's trying to make the move, but Rev has gone too deep! Whoa! They almost went into the wall! Holy!
This is incredible racing. We've also got Lucas Serre going side by side with the FCT driver into turn 4. There was contact between the two of them, and I think FCT just drops behind Christian Era as well. That's unfortunate for the Sauber man, as I think it was Lucas Serra not really allowing him much room to take the corner. But, you know what I'm surprised to see, and I'm probably going to jinx it here. Nobody has horrifically pranged it into the castle section yet in the race.
At least they did in qualifying quite a bit, didn't they? They did it
I think
quite a
it
few
was
times.
just-
But we've got to just for a minute. We've got to look at the lead because it's almost 2 seconds between P1 and P2, and another second back between P2 and P3, and then another 1.2, then another 3. So the top 5 are currently split by about 6 seconds, 6 to 7 seconds at the moment.
Yeah, and I think Timon Van Vincent is acting as a, what do they say, a cork in the bottle here. There's a 3-second gap between him and Tuomas Lamminen. But I think surely Gianpietro goes for a move on Timon around the turn 1 area. And yes, he does. Pulls to the inside. And can he make the move on the Mercedes man into turn 1? Runs very close to that outside wall. And now Abe Gabardi again moves out, but is defended on. And these guys are giving him no quarter here so far in this race, in this battle for him to try and get back up the order. And can Gabardi maybe go for a move now on Van Vincent into turn 3? Backs out of it sensibly, I'd say. And I want to say that time Van Vincent might have moved after Abdullah Bulaic as... Oh, Rev's in the wall! Rev is...
Racing between Timon Van Vincent and Abe Gabardi. And it's a virtual safety car. And that stops the racing. But Abe Gabardi got through in the end.
I know why it's a VSC. Rev has accelerated back onto... He's trying to DNF himself.
Rev's unlucky streak continues as Gianpietro Oggiano gets a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that is... Well, brilliant news for Abe Gabardi. Yeah, that probably will be race ending. What is... Rev keeps on spinning. I know he went off into the runoff and then accelerated back on track and slammed into the wall. Locking up. I'll keep an eye on him on his way back to the pits. But
I think it's been pretty interesting to see with Gianpietro because he's been a strong driver this season. Just go back to Spain. Incredible drive back in Spain. Absolutely brilliant.
I wasn't here. What did he actually do? Oh, he got another drive-through!
Look at this, and he hasn't gotten the restart either. And look!
Oh, side by side with Timon Van Vincent.
Oh!
Van Vincent hits the wall hard. I'll be amazed if he's not got damage there. And he'll be very lucky, that's for sure. Rev has gone off, I think, spun down at turn 16. But here comes Jensen Rausen boxing in Timon Van Vincent, who can't go for the move. Oggiano defends from Rausen as well. They're going 3 wide on the entrance to turn 1. Oggiano is wide. Rausen has the inside line heading in towards turn 2. Can he keep ahead of the Haasman here? I think he just about can. Has he got that better exit that he needs? And they're still going side by side up towards turn 3. Of course, and we've also got
Supply Raptor from all the way back, Supply Raptor!
Mary.
Oh!
What a move, although Gianpietro Oggiano has hit the wall. Timon Van Vincent and Abdullah Bulaic have now both got through.
No,
the
he just missed the wall. He just missed.
But Supply Raptor still going side by side with the Mercedes and the McLaren at the same time. He was forced out off the line going into turn 5. This is absolutely incredible racing here in Baku City. But God, chaos on that restart.
I have to say, I feel sad for one person. That's Abe Gabardi, because he's in no man's land a bit, isn't he?
I think he's got the pace to catch up to the guys ahead.
But he's not though. By the way, he's actually dropped 3/10 a lap so far. He hasn't been catching a lot so far this lap, so he's actually still dropping time.
He might have, by putting himself in that train of people, he might have killed his tyres in the fighting.
Because he's not gaining at the moment. He's losing slight bits or equaling out with the drivers in front. But do you know what Abe Gabardi had? He had straight line speed. That seemed to be his strength, was his straight line speed. And we've seen it, with the amount of moves he's been able to make. But we've got to quickly look back to P7 with Abdullah Bulaic that's making his way past his teammate Timon Van Vincent for P6 in this race. And it's a nice move made there. from himself. Very nice move. Past his teammate for P6 in this race and a lovely 8 points. I heard a car bashing into a wall.
It was Ave hitting the wall on the exit of turn 2.
Interesting how delayed the sounds are.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. But it'd be interesting if that was in real life. And somebody's had a moment. That's Epic Lexa that's had a moment, but he's gotten moving.
I think he just spun, came to a stop, but managed to get going again. Oh, he hits the wall through turn 2 as well. But I think crucially, Oliver Knott is slowly dropping time now to Carlos Galindo. It depends on the corners, but over the course of the laps, Carlos is slowly closing in by about
a tenth from the last time we looked. It's only been about a tenth, so it's very, very small amounts of time. But again, I think the rain has gotten a little bit heavier again because we're seeing a couple more drivers struggling. I think the one thing we've got at the moment is I think the rain is a little bit on and off at the moment for how heavy it is, and I think it's making the track being, a bit of a guessing game.
Yeah. And I think another thing to consider is that Oliver Knott, Carlos Galindo, Neil Gout, and Tuomas Lamminen have not pitted yet. Ave Gabardi has. And he is now gaining, look, it's 7/10 from the last lap. So he's really found his stride. Now 9/10. It was 4.5 through turn 20 on the last lap. Now it's 3.7-ish. And there goes Neil Gout as Carlos Galindo bites the bullet and comes into the pit lane.
Interesting.
Yellow
pulling
flag.
The trigger, maybe? Do we think
Rev.
it's pulling the trigger with Oliver Knott?
Potentially. It will be definitely an undercut play. I think Rev has broken his wing again.
But my question. Oh, and there's another yellow flag. That's Timon Van Vincent that's gone into the wall. He's gone into the wall, and that is his front wing end plate off of the part of his front wing as well.
Yeah, big structural damage to the main segments of the wing as well. So now, Carlos Galindo, he's pitted. He's going to be on fresher tyres than Ave Gabardi, who is, I assume Carlos is imagining that Ave is his main race now. Especially because he'll probably get the undercut on Oliver at this rate.
The problem is, I will just point out quickly, for Carlos Galindo, he's got to get through all of these cars.
That's what I was coming to, yeah. He's got to get through the scrapping between the McLarens, Trisky, and Dennis.
And he's got only 10 laps to do that in. Well, 9.5.
Yeah. Oliver Knott into turn 15. I wonder if he's also going to pit. Rev comes in. I imagine will probably retire. Yeah, there we go.
And look at that. Look at Ave Gabardi. Down to 1.8 seconds.
Exceptional pace from the
Are we going to
championship
see
leader.
another win from our championship leader? Are we going to see a hat trick?
3 in a row.
Do you see that happening?
I massively see that happening. Carlos Galindo gets past Van Vincent, who I think might have just let him go. Because there's no point fighting him. He's got, if he hits that front left one more time, the entire wing falls off. So, or he's going to struggle through here, manages to keep it going. And yeah, fastest lap for Gabardi, a 54.3. I think the previous fastest was in the 56s, which is a testament to his pace at the minute. Oliver Knott, I imagine now, going for the one stop because he's still not pitted. And I don't think we'll see many more pit stops this race.
Not really, but you can see, look at Ave Gabardi. He's moving over to the left to get more rain. Do we think the rain's getting lighter?
Is that a feature in the game? That you need to move offline to get more water?
Yeah, it's there.
Ah, right, okay.
There's more water offline. Why do you think so many people have been going deep when they choose the inside line? You can also see it off of the reflections.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know. I know you can see that there's more water and that there's a racing line coming. I just wasn't sure if it had any actual impact on the tyres.
It does, actually. It does, surprisingly.
That's really good to know.
But Ave Gabardi, now below a second, well, almost below a second, and now below a second, we finally got there, within of Tuomas Lamminen. But for these guys, the worst part is that Ave Gabardi is just striding off and is just going to stride off into the distance. And after these guys stop, it is only going to be about 6 seconds between him and the race leader at the moment, right? That means it's gonna be he's gonna have what, about 10, 12 seconds?
Yeah,
the-
I've just noticed as well that obviously Carlos Galindo, you'd imagine, gonna easily fight his way through this pack. No, he's not, because ahead of him, the only ones that have not pitted are the top 3 and Jensen Rowson. The rest are all on, tyres from not lap 1. As Laminen is weaving there to try and keep Gabbardi behind. And is our championship leader, well, surely not into turn 1 from that distance, but I'd imagine by turn 3 will probably be...
damage. He's a front wing end plate missing.
I wonder how long he's been carrying that for then.
I think he must have got to that recently because that's when he's really been dropping time to nail Gout.
Yeah, he was 1.7 not too long ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, now it's dropped to 3.2, so it must have been the last lap or 2.
Oh, I thought he'd surely send it. Probably going to go for it into turn 4. No.
I think he wants to get him in the next corner. I think he's going to get him here because look at this down the inside. He's going to go for it. No, he's not. Maybe
there's being cautious, and then there's this.
I think I'm going to say, I think Ave Gabbardi isn't being cautious. I think he's being smart. Yeah. I think he knows he's quick enough that he can stay in the lead of the race, right? He knows he's quick enough. So he doesn't need to rush anything.
He's got 7 laps next time across the line to catch 4 seconds to nail Gout, and then...
but remember, both of them have to stop.
No, they don't have to because it's wet.
But tyre wear.
At this point, they're surely going to the end.
Maybe, maybe not.
Oh, scraping against the wall there, Ave Gabbardi. And Carlos Galindo has now caught up to this pack of Rowson, Trisky, and Kamensky. So this will be interesting to see how quickly Carlos can get past this trio. And look, Ave's losing a lot of time down the flat-out sections of Sector 3. Oh, here we go. Look at how fast he's gaining. This is ridiculous. He's cut it down by nearly half a second on the straight. And still not close enough, though. This is weird, isn't it?
Not really. He's making sure he's got enough battery for when he can make a move.
Like, probably up into turn 3 now.
Maybe.
Gaining. No, not enough. It's not enough.
By the way, he's gaining battery down the straights.
Yeah.
So, for Ave Gabbardi here, he doesn't even have to send a move. Oh, and a little bit of a nudge to Tuomas Laminen.
Galindo's not really gaining any more on these guys ahead. He's stuck at 1.1 seconds behind.
This is the problem. These guys, their tyres aren't old enough to really see a massive difference in the moment. It's maybe 3/4 tenths lap time, but it's not enough at the moment to, especially remember, when you have 3/4 tenths in clean air, when it becomes dirty air, it's more like equal to maybe a tenth or 2.
I think Gabbardi probably should have tried to, lick the stamp and send it because he's now...
And that's somebody that's gone off. That's Gianpietro Oggiano once again in turn 3. He's done it again.
I think he just spun that time. Or at least it looked like that from the map. Unless he resets the track. But I'm looking at the gap now from Nail Gout to Tuomas Laminen. It's over 5 seconds. So Gabbardi is seriously losing out.
Well, I think he's noticed that and maybe listened to your words. Because look at how much closer he is this lap around.
Yeah, he's going to go for it.
With the slipstream, with the overtake. No DRS, of course, because it is in wet conditions. To the inside he goes. Tuomas Laminen's a tough racer. Look at that, pushing him all the way he can. Down the inside. Goes Ave Gabbardi. Ooh, a little bit of contact there. But in the end, Ave Gabbardi makes the move past and up into P3 in this race and onto the podium. And importantly, continuing a good championship lead.
I want to quickly look back to the lower end of the points where Carlos Galindo is now right on the tail of the McLaren, Red Bull and Ferrari. And he's going to properly be trying to get past now He's right on the tail of Denis Kamensky. He's on the extreme inside, pulls to the outside. Can he get around the Ferrari into turn 3? And I think he just about can. They're alongside on the exit, losing the rear end, both of them. And through turn 4 we go. Contact with the wall for Kamensky. And Galindo has managed to get ahead. So that's 1 down, 2 to go. But that's just to get up to P7.
That's a problem here. That's only 6 points versus his championship rival, who's currently getting 15. So that's 9 points lost still. So at the moment, Carlos Galindo, I think it was a very big mistake to change tyres.
Yeah, and Ave Gabardi, I think that they're getting stuck behind Thomas Laminen might have cost him here. Unless Oliver Knott and Nail Gout can...
Thing is, I will say, I am just going to say, Oliver Knott and Nail Gout will be getting into the puncture territory.
Oh, absolutely.
Even with the safety car and virtual safety car, they'll still be reaching this puncture territory because of the way they're driving now.
They'll be pushing to the end, most likely.
Yeah.
Carlos Galindo is very close to the back of Trisky through turn 19. And now through turn 20. He's in the slipstream, but crucially, Trisky is in Jensen Rowson's slipstream. We've got a Mercedes in the wall at turn 15. I think that was Timon Van Vincent. But no, the Aston Martin can't make the move going into turn 1. And he's probably going to wait for turn 3 again.
Very true. The thing is, that's how it always is, isn't it? Because, oh, and a big slide for Carlos Galindo. Massive slide there for Carlos Galindo. You see Trisky just doing exactly what Dennis did last lap, covering the inside line, but now this time, instead, it's Carlos Galindo. He's gone a little bit deep, locking up that front. And again, look at that, the sliding, but look at this, Trisky not wanting to give up his position that easily. But there goes Carlos Galindo up into P8, but this is still tiny points, isn't it? 4 points is still basically nothing for compared to what he needs.
Yeah, at the minute, he's going to lose out to both Oliver Knott and Ave Gabardi. He's going to drop significantly behind Oliver. It's going to be a 21-point swing in Oliver's favour. And, of course, Ave... Oliver will close in on Ave by 10 points, to be fair. So the championship lead will be cut down.
It's definitely championship fight there, but I'm going to be honest. Carlos Galindo might be out of the championship just purely based off this race.
Mathematically, no, but in theory, yes.
In theory, yes, because, I mean, think about it. He's dropping another 9... he's dropping 11 points right now. Or soon to be 9. 9 points he'll drop to the championship leader. So it's going from, what, 30... was it 37 points?
I think 36 between...
Yeah, so I think 37.
35. I know Oliver Knott to Ave is 34 because I remember.
So let's say 35. So 35
there
points.
There
we go. And there goes Carlos Galindo. That's going to go from 35. That's going to become 44, which means he's going to have to gain at least 11 points per race to close into equal Ave Gabardi in the final 4 races of the season.
It's not looking great for him, is it?
No, I think sadly that one race he missed in Monaco, I think has pretty much destroyed his championship chances.
I mean, that's what gave Oliver Knott wasn't there either, so that's pretty much what gave Ave.
There goes Dennis down the inside.
Yeah, on the Red Bull, side by side on the exit now, and can the Ferrari muscle his way around the outside? Oh, so close into the wall. Contact from the front right of Dennis to the rear left of Trisky as well. And Dennis is going to have to, try again later. Although, potentially, if he gets a good run, he could send a dive into turn 7. Thinks about it. But I'd say thinks better and doesn't go for it. But Ave Gabardi in the last lap has only gained 4/10 on Nail Gout. So... it's just not worked out for him, has it?
No, not particularly. I think for both Ave Gabardi and for Carlos Galindo, it's not been a good day on strategy. But
I think you could.
I will say, in the end, for Abe Gabadi, he's still getting a podium from this.
Yeah.
He's still getting podium. He's still getting strong points.
I will let you know you're cutting out on my end a bit now, so it's a bit difficult. But yeah, the podium is kind of making the best of the worst. Of course, Elias being out does help that, because he would have been another thorn in his side this race. As now Dennis Kamensky was going for the move on Trisky, but Trisky suddenly gained about 0.04 of a second. And yeah, Dennis, he looked for a move into turn 1, couldn't quite make it. And now, is he going to go for one potentially up towards turn 3? And I'm not entirely sure. Nail Gout has caught a second on Oliver Knott. But yeah, here comes Dennis Kamensky on the outside now. So close between the two drivers. Kamensky is into the wall, manages to keep going, and just tucks in behind Trisky. But yeah, look at the gap now between Oliver Knott and Niall Gout. Oh, hang on. This isn't over. I thought it was over. But Dennis is being stubborn, not giving this up yet. And now going very deep into turn 5. That compromises turn 6. They're banging wheels all the way through. And now down towards turn 7. Still side by side. And up now towards turn 8. They're wheel hooking down towards the castle. And, oh, they're somehow keeping it out of the castle section wars.
Very, very close there from... I mean, this is a battle over 2 points.
Yeah, it's 1 point difference in the positions. And it's not over yet. Into turn 15. Kamensky's going to go for the move. Surely this only ends in tears. How are they still going side by side? More wheel hooking and contact. Side by side into turn 16 now.
That looked a little bit more purposeful.
And, more contact. They're still going towards turn 17 and 18. And turn 19.
Carlos Galindo up to P6. A quiet move made. But it's a move he needed to make. But we've got to look back to P9 with Trisky and Dennis. Dennis choosing the outside line. Trisky covering the inside line. Look at this, the switchback. Whoa, sliding from the two of them into turn 2. Deep on the brakes. Who's going to get it best? That's Trisky in the wall. That is not what he needed. Heading down this straight. Of course, we've not had DRS for a single lap, and we're not going to have it for a single lap of this race. But Trisky still racing it. Look at this.
Supply. He's ready to get on the outside into turn 4. And can he now? He's managed to get ahead of both of them. Although side by side up towards turn 5, Dennis Kamensky is going to be trying to get back ahead. And contact! And round goes the Fly Raptor. Through comes Trisky again to get back up to P9.
Whoa.
And more contact between the two of them through turn 7. This is unbelievable racing. Lucas Serra, who's been out of the points for almost this entire Grand Prix, is now on the scene. But, Dennis just disconnected. No, that's ended such a good fight. But we need to draw attention to the front for this last lap. Because look at Nail Gout and how close he is now to Oliver Knott.
Heading down the pit straight. Oliver Knott's let him by.
Oliver's got a puncture! He's got a puncture! It's over! It's all over for Oliver Knott! That is his race, done and dusted. He's surely going to tumble down to the fringes of the points. That promotes Nail Gout to the race lead, Abe Gabadi to P2, and Tumas Laminen to P3. So that is going to mean that Abe Gabadi significantly increased his championship lead.
Do we think that is Oliver Knott's championship over?
I think now it's Abe Gabadi to lose it. If he loses it, it would be
I don't think that's
more
possible.
of an achievement winning
I'm going to be honest, I don't think that's very possible at this point. 4 races to go in the season after this. And he's gonna
Sorry, Carlos Galindo just lost a ray going for me when Abdullah Bilaich. That was so close.
3 wide into turn 3!
Oh my.
Oh, they made it through just about, but Oliver Knott is at the back of this pack, absolutely fighting it out. It's going absolutely crazy, but... poor Oliver Knott. He's losing out everything.
Lucas Serra.
Oh!
He nearly went for me. Trisky goes deep.
Deep! Oh my god! Oh my god! It is absolute chaos everywhere. Jonas has made a move. Abdullah is... Has he got a puncture?
No, he spun.
And he spun into the wall. There goes Oliver Knott. He's made it past Trisky for position.
There's a front wing on the floor. I think it's Abdullah's.
Yeah, it is. But Oliver Knott's made his way through into P10, and he is up into the points. But we've got to look to Nail Gout. We've got to look to this man. What a race he's had. We haven't had him on the cards to win the race. I have to say, it wasn't on my cards, and I don't think it was on yours. Not too much longer to go. The last couple of 100 meters. Nail Gout wins in Azerbaijan in WOR PC Tier 3. What a victory it is for Nail Gout. Oh, what a victory it is for the Aston Martin. Abe Gabadi, the championship leader, continues his championship run and continues to lead the championship and grow his lead. Tumas Lamnin on the podium.
Oliver Knott. Oh! Big crash over the line between Lucas Serra and Oliver Knott. Wheel hooking over the line. They both survived. They're both going to get classified in those points positions, thank God. But Lucas Serra does beat Oliver Knott to the line. Sorry to cut in there to your little rundown.
Totally.
But, yeah.
Yeah, his position we reinstated.
Yeah, I figured as much.
But, Nail Gout, we've got to talk about how this guy has won today. It is incredible, isn't it? He wasn't on my cards to win.
No. Neither for me. I mean, I don't think I've actually watched a race with him in yet. I think this is the first race I've seen him. But, yeah, incredible stuff from Nail. Fully deserved as well. Abe Gabadi done very well to get back to P2. And is that Laminen's first podium of the season as well?
I think so. It might be his second. I think he got one in Australia.
I thought he got a puncture at the end of that because I don't remember. I'll have a look and figure it all out.
Yeah, it was incredible race. So let's go through the order of the grid. Nail Gout wins from 6th on the grid. Abe Gabadi starts on the front row, finishes on the front row. Tumas Lamnin, great race for himself. Carlos Galindo as well, starts where he finishes, same as Jonas Orpel. Jensen Rosen finishes 6th. Abdullah Bulaic finishes 7th. Supply Raptor in 8th. Lucas Serra finishes in 9th, where he started with the fastest lap as well, so an extra point there. Trisky also finishes in 10th. Then is his FCT in 11th. Christian 12th. Dennis in 13th. Time Van Vincent, Epic Lecter, Oliver Knott, Gian Pietro Orgiano, Rev, and Elias. But two of them, Gian Pietro and Oliver Knott, both should be reinstated for their positions because of the game.
Oliver to P10 and I think Gian Pietro to P13.
So is, if you wouldn't mind, giving our drivers a great ping.
I will do so. At Nail, at Ave, I can't spell Thomas. Oh, there we go.
Let's see if we can get any of our drivers on the podium today in for an interview. Nail Gout is up for an interview, which is going to be quite interesting to see our race winner come in for an interview. Interesting race, very interesting race in the end. So we'll see in the next couple of moments when he joins in. We will see very shortly. Okay, so let me change to the interview screen we're now on. So let me drag our race winner, Nail Gout, in. Hello, Nail. Welcome to the interviews box for the post-race interviews. Congratulations on your victory. How does it feel to win here this season?
Is my mic on? Can you hear me first?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, oh my. I went into this race thinking I was going to be dead last. I'm going to be honest. That was the last thing I was ever expecting. I cannot process it, man. I saw Baku as my worst track on the calendar and the one I would struggle the most on. To the thing I've just done that is incredible, honestly.
How was the tyre wear towards the end? Because of course I don't believe you stopped in the entire race. So were you getting worried towards the end that maybe you won't be able to make it, without a puncture?
I was doing maths in my head each lap, and it's a bit stressful, to be honest. I thought, okay, maybe, I want to pit, but look at what Carlos did. He just got completely stuck. So, I was thinking, okay, I have to stay out. And then my tires were they were not too bad, to be fair. They were maximum 80% actually on the rear. So, I managed them quite well, I think, going offline each lap. And kept the tires to the end.
Very good. Ryan, do you have any questions for our race winner?
No further questions.
I was really hoping for one, but yeah. Congratulations on your amazing victory at one of the hardest tracks on the calendar. And I can't wait to see you, hopefully, once again in the interviews box.
Thank you.
So let me. Okay, so it is time to go on to the next person for interviews.
I think it's Ave.
Yes, it is. It will be Ave Gabadi, of course. Discord not working and not wanting to move. Hello, Ave.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the interviews box. It's one of the I think pretty much every race we speak to now. But how does it feel to get on the podium? Of course. Did you feel like sort of the pit stop was, do you sort of look back and sort of, I guess, wish you didn't do the pit stop, or is it still sort of you're happy with doing that pit stop that got you stuck in traffic and possibly cost you the win?
First of all, pleasure to be here as always. I'm very disappointed. I pummeled quali. Could have easily done a 0.2 on that lap, but yeah, it is what it is. Gotta work on that more. The race, I don't know, like some people just go to useless fights with me when they have much more better tire advantage. I mean, they're defending their position, I get it, but some moves are just shocking. But no, I think we did the correct strategy. Just, as you said, the train held me up a lot. I don't know for what reason. It just ruined my race and their own race. So, they should work. They should work more rather than me.
I think. Do you feel after sort of looking back at it? Do you think sort of what was kind of your the most difficult part of this race? Because I know it was raining and it was Baku, which makes it hard enough. But what was, outside of those two things, sort of the hardest part of sort of this week's race?
I guess whoever gambled with the best wings and strategy and suspension, because we were really, really struggling with our setup. It was kind of shockingly bad, but at the same time we were gaining in some places, but losing in the places where I needed to. So we also got to work on that more. And I mean, GG to Nail, he did a good job keeping those tires alive. But what matters is the points, I guess, right now. But I'm very disappointed.
I mean, still gaining points over your two championship rivals, closest championship rivals, is still a plus at the end of the day. Ryan, do you have any questions for our podium and our championship leader, I should say?
Yeah, just kind of a follow on to that last point that you made, Ave. But you now have extended your championship lead to 41 points over Carlos Galindo now. So I know obviously you're disappointed only to come second, but is there still that silver lining? And are you still happy with, in the end you have gained overall?
I mean, I'm very harsh on myself, I think, because I know I can do much better, but I didn't do it. But yeah, at the end of the day, as you mentioned, it's the championship that matters right now. So I'll keep focused on extending that.
Well, with that, thank you so much, Ave, for joining us here in the interviews box. And we wish you the best of luck. I suspect we'll be speaking to you a couple more times this season. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much. And by the way, sorry for the point right now. It's Ave, not Ave.
Ave.
Yeah. Sorry. It's the name is quite confusing for some.
That's all right.
I mean, for everyone actually. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make a list of how to pronounce these names. I'm gonna have to make a list.
Nail, you're still here. How do we pronounce your name?
I don't think he's here.
Sorry,
I think he's
I
here
muted my
with
mic. I'm sorry. I muted my mic. Sorry. Well, Niall would be the right way.
So I was right, Epic.
No, you called him Niall.
Oh.
We all did, I think.
Very different name.
Okay.
But yeah.
Alright.
Ultimately, I will try to keep those in mind, and I'll probably call you by the same name. But that's the way it goes. I will make a list. I do promise at some point. Maybe this season, maybe next. Who knows? Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us in the interviews box. So, with that done, what would you say was sort of the best moment of this evening?
I think the battling between Dennis and Trisky was absolutely incredible. For what was it, P9 or something? That battling.
Yeah, that was
like
brilliant.
It cost them like 6 seconds to the McLarens in front, but it was a brilliant spectacle. They were going side by side in corners.
But I've got to say, the one thing I will just give a massive shout out to was Supply Raptor's move, his double overtake.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say that was the best overtakes of the night, like the best overtake of the night. I'm just gonna say that, just outright. But I think there were so many brilliant moves. It was just absolutely amazing.
I think you might have it there with Supply. It was a proper Daniel Ricciardo. When I assume you remember about when he just appeared going into turn 3 and got past everyone. In the braking.
Of course, mate. Of course. We all remember
Because there's the other double overtake when he got past Trisky and my brain's just gone blank. The Ferrari. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Oh my word, Dennis. There we go.
There we go. Finally got there in the end. But with that, let's have a look. Let's just have one last look at a couple of things before the end of the night. Sadly, this is the end of tonight's stream and this week's tier 3, of course, for round number 6. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also click on that notification bell to know about all of the content WR do. Also make sure to go and check us out on World Online Racing F1 on TikTok, as you can see above. Also WR League on Twitter or X, whichever one you want to call it, of course. Also big thanks to our sponsors Grid Finder and Next Level Racing. Ultimately, with that guys, thank you so much. We'll take one last quick look at the calendar for what we've got this season. We've gone through Australia, Spain, Belgium, kind of the United States, Monaco, and now Azerbaijan. We've only got 4 races to go as we go to home race for some drivers on the grid. Great Britain, then Emilia Romagna, then Japan, and then Abu Dhabi, the classic race to finish the season. But with that, guys, thank you so much. You've had an absolutely brilliant week. I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.
Bye.